Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to NieR Replicant. In the last episode, we actually visited Facade and the Temple of Drifting Sands, where we defeated the boss and we rescued the prince, so he became the king of Facade. And you're probably wondering what I'm wearing. I actually have one of the DLC outfits equipped. There's like 4 or 5 of them per character, and I went ahead and equipped most of them. But this is the Kabuki outfit for Kid NieR. And I also have it for other characters and Kaine as well. But she's not here right now because she's outside of the town. But right now, we need to go. We also heard about the Forest of Myth when we had that dream sequence with Yona. She had the same dream as us for some reason. But we heard about it, the Forest of Myth, and how it's in trouble, or it's calling to us, and we're gonna go find it. But first, we gotta go talk to Popola for more information. Now, I haven't used most of these DLC outfits before. I only use the Yorha from NieR Automata outfits. I never really use a Kabuki, but this looks really cool. I like it. Much different than what I'm used to. We'll go ahead and change our weapon as well. We'll do 106 damage. There's a lot of Drakengard weapons. There's a Rebirth and Nirvana Dagger. Anyway. Looks interesting. Alright. Popola.
What's up, Popola?
Oh, hi. I just got a strange letter in the mail.
Dearest Popola, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing in hopes of bringing to your situation a certain dream issue of concern regarding recent events in Dream the Village. I was hoping I might be dream able to get your advice stream on the matter. Recently, there has been a dream report dream of a certain evil dream, someone dream. Alright, that's great.
That is certainly one bizarre piece of writing.
Indeed, Vice, I agree.
Who's it from?
The mayor of a small village in the Forest of Myth. It's a wooded area up north.
Okay.
The Forest of Myth?
They're usually a bright and cheerful group of people. Something like this is very out of character for them. I have a bad feeling about this.
I'll check it out.
You will? But...
Don't worry about it. I've got business there anyway.
True.
Oh, well, alright. Thank you.
The dream we had. I want to change the weapon real quick. Oh, just don't like the way it looked, you know? How's Rebirth look? Interesting. It's a massive weapon. I like it. Looks unique.
These books speak of ancient technology.
Yes. Oh, I want him to say something new, but I know he won't. Alright, so we're gonna head to the Forest of Myths and find out what's going on with these dream sequences and these letters containing strange writing. That's very unnormal. Oh yeah, but look at Kaine. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Looks great. Looks awesome. There's us. Looking great. We are We are like fashion. We're very fashion. Well, unfortunately, it can't, outfit the boar, but you know what? I think it's all right. Oh, yeah, I'll take care of some shades. Why not? Oh. Very unique weapon. I never used it in Drakengard. I'll use Kime's sword. Main character. Corn. Ow. We both have red hair. Which is black, I have red. Great music, though.
It sure is quiet here.
Such silence bodes ill. There's trouble on the way. I'm certain of it.
You know, a little optimism now and then wouldn't hurt, Vice.
Such cheek.
All right, we're here. The great tree in the forests of myth. What is this, gentlemen? It's like Count Dooku from Clone Wars.
Beware. Beware the words.
Words. Alright.
The words? What do you mean?
Contagious words. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
And replicants can dream.
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind.
Androids, however, cannot. Vice's voice rose in a quizzical way.
It is not quizzical.
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his eyes.
Perhaps we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
The mayor stared at NieR and Vice.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Deathdream had spread across the forests of myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor had determined the Deathdream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Vice stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here. Are you saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?
Well, yes. I think you have.
In other words, we've caught the Deathdream?
A Before the mayor could confirm NieR's suspicion, Weiss exploded with rage.
Ridiculous, preposterous, completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the Deathdream works.
Damn. Like Inception. Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remarks.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject to who NieR had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A certain conversation, a specific word, something.
NieR and Weiss racked their brains, but could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider. Too much random chatter. Too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Weiss does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Weiss chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Weiss looked skyward, as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over NieR like a contagion. Wait, said NieR suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Weiss aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Asked the mayor. Some specific combination of words. What was it? It was about dreaming, or something that dreams, or... what the hell was it? A sheep, cried Weiss suddenly, blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, NieR's face suddenly lit up. I remember, he said. Those who dream. That's what he said, I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at NieR. Yes, that sounds right, he said, as a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground. My notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head, his worn pencil stub tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the Deathdream, he said. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect the people from whatever comes along. But I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Weiss immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will takes you to research of a disease in your dreams, he said. But perhaps we should bend your efforts to escape in this place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around the pencil, snapping off the tip. I tried to escape. From the very moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream, I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? There was an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said to no one in particular. And it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying till it happens. NieR nodded in agreement. Huh? Wait a second. I didn't nod. Look, if we can be of any help, said NieR, just ask. Now hold on. I did not just say that. Silence, cried Weiss. The grimoire looked from NieR to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Weiss's face is almost confident. Thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor. You told us there was nothing that can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet you seem surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? The mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god, he said. You're right. You're right. I had no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Weiss, and the dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. Don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he said he called at the departing forms of NieR and Weiss. We're all counting on you. As NieR slowly faded away into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought. But where? NieR's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more forest closed in around them. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once, he had been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Weiss was proven to be spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical efforts, he spent most of his time urging NieR to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Weiss muttered something about legless turtles being a more adept in navigating the environment, NieR snapped. Okay, Weiss, cramp for a second, would you? You don't have to walk. NieR leaned in against a tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so big? He muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out at a volume that rattled his teeth. NieR slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Weiss, what's going on? NieR could see Weiss's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insects screamed, the forest howled, and then, just as NieR's ears seemed to be a lot of reading. And then, just as NieR's ears seemed ready to tear from his head, and going on for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. Three. Whoa, warm up. That'll do. As the insect cacophony. No, not cacophony. Cacophony. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, NieR began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise. It's something else. The insects weren't just calling out. They were asking a question. 1 with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? By my pages, is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. Then I'll leave it to you to answer. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? Alright. And I'm back. The answer is a secret. Inwardly furious that Vice left the task to him, NieR sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret. Right? The sound of the insects stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before NieR like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Vice with glee. Pleased at passing the test, NieR moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave him even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on the path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said NieR after a bit. Vice spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the wheel of this forest for some happy pet you consider for a friend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Vice finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, NieR picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Vice. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Absurdly easy, barked Vice. Now answer it! NieR grit his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right after all. This one's pretty easy. I enter through the window, but break the glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Sunlight. Sunlight! A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected it off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Vice softly, I had never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey look, cried NieR, awakening Vice from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Vice saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Vice? I mean, who would have built a house all the way out here? NieR walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began NieR. But before we could ever get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning, and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? NieR tried to answer. NieR tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing there, but he simply repeated the question. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, said Vice, it simply must answer the riddle. Yeah, I suppose, said NieR. Well, at least it's an easy one. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but in the night with 3. What am I? Is it a man? Alright, am a man? No, demon. No, 4 legs. I think I remember it's a man. A man! The mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor, cried NieR. The small man slowly shook his head. I am not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry? What does that mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the Deathdream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As NieR watched, mist seeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When NieR and Vice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. Good gravy, he cried. You made it! You actually made it back! His left hand grasped NieR's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Vice by the cover and swung him through the air. God, by the heavens, stop shaking me, fool! We have not even told you if we were successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. NieR withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the Deathdream seal, he said. At least I think we did. The mayor's face beamed as NieR filled him on the details. When the tale was done, the 3 of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. NieR cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second, this is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. NieR and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten? Continued Vice. It is the words that control the Deathdream, words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. This is the first time, began the mayor, the first time I felt tired since I was imprisoned here. His words were cut off by a loud yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour, or a year. When they awoke, things had slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. NieR shook the mayor's shoulder gently. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Oh wow, said the mayor in an odd voice. We did. I'm back. He blinked once more and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. The Deathdream was spreading across through our village, and I wanted to, well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped here in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs as if he was trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at NieR and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor as a wry smile crossed his lips. You shall relearn in short order, I am sure, said Weiss. For now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on steady feet. No, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the Deathdream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, he explained. When the prayer was finished, it's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Weiss. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. NieR and Weiss could not contain their surprise. It seemed a goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered Weiss, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, NieR mentioned the strange man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left them with. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said suddenly, this is going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. NieR tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the Deathdream. It probably doesn't mean anything. NieR gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly, his thoughts were racing. Something wrong about the mayor and his words. There's something wrong. And what exactly is going on here? That riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much. Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
In a sealed verse, dark execution. Magical spikes.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me.
Well, too easy or not, you know.
It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink advice.
Alright, let's go save real quick, just in case. I love text adventures. They're so immersive, and it's just words on the screen. But like when you read it for yourself, you have images. It's exactly like reading a book. Everyone's vision and everyone's picture in their head of that sequence is gonna be different. Let's go help out this village. Berries. Help this person out real quick.
This person must be dreaming too.
It would appear that way, yes.
Enter the villain's dream. Oh, enter the villager's dream. Yes.
Can't say I'm very excited to go back there. That dream world sort of creeps me out.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
Yeah.
I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been here in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked beneath a stairway in the long-unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside, I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes, and eternity slips by an single tick of a clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I can hear an unfamiliar voice say, "My savior!" I claw at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is a product of my addled mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all the gods, help me. Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy and a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to blackness, explode with pain. I am forced to turn away. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands covering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimoire Weiss. This is NieR. Long have we been searching for you. Now come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together. The one known as NieR extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were in such terrible storm, said Grimoire Weiss. Look at your feet. I force my eyes open and see water pulling around my ankles and lapping at my shins. There's no such of it. Yes. Yes, and more comes with each moment we delay. If we not make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but you are the only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come upon a shapeless mass of gray matter that has been shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door and just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns, and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from it to the beds and back again until the horror draws upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into the tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know. And sanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound. Whether scream or laughter, I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciless blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving the most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors. Northeast, northeast, north. Squint down the dim corridors, and I proceed west. And proceed east. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. Squint down the dim corridors and proceed east. At the end of the path, I find myself in a great hall with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see my chair's surroundings. my chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made their homes in the remains, and this is the movement I saw. This once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands and slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs proved to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and down the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. For if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasps frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was a punishment. Though in truth, I suspect they had committed no such crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. I squint down the dim corridors, and I proceed north. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, and so I give myself to the efforts. In tandem with NieR and Grimoire Vice, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives away, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding. But to the west, I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry as tears join the rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters, and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. Your dress, asks Vice. Then you are a woman, madam. I am. I proffer the two with a smile. I suppose that comes as something of a surprise, seeing how as I only exist only in the form of words. I can see that one known as NieR is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth onto our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, proving the countless damned souls inside within their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I hear that.
We got her out. We saved her. We're saving all these people from these words, these dreams, these prisons. Alright. Let's go save this guy.
And another victim. This work certainly is trying.
Into this villager's dream.
I figured a book like you would be into all this word stuff, Vice.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be off.
A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Vice and NieR had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away. What do you think, Vice?
As Vice considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage.
Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. NieR nodded and wiped the sweat of his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he had never been so thirsty. The ancient road on which they walked on was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed through at the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. This heat reflecting from the road made NieR lightheaded. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us or what? The complaining had already begun. Vice tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke, he said. No joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't seem very sure of yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear. NieR glanced at Vice's grinning face, shook his head, and resumed walking. As time passed, NieR's feet grew more painful, and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried to not look further than the next step ahead, because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. We're definitely getting closer, said Vice, in an effort to cheer his companion. Yes, this much is certain. Encouraged, NieR lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open, and his finger pointing in the distance. Water, he cried. It's water! Water, asked Vice. Preposterous. I don't see any water. Over there. Just look ahead. Look at the sun reflecting off of it. Without waiting for a response, NieR sprang to life and bounded toward the sight. What in the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. NieR closed his eyes and sighed as Vice floated up behind him and chuckled softly. I believe this is known as mirage, he said. Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things. NieR shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes widened once more. Wait, there it is! I just missed it. Look, it's right there. NieR sprinted off again, leaving Vice with no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, NieR came to a halt. I could have sworn I was right around here. Confused, he put his hands up onto his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue, shimmering pool of clear water just right over the rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour, until an exasperated Vice finally floated up to NieR and struck him into his face with his cover. Enough, you blithering idiots! Stop this at once! There is no water here. NieR's face clouded. There isn't? There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me whenever I tell you as much. Vice paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the city of art. NieR looked up, stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They're huge, cried NieR, completely forgetting the heat and the pain of the past few hours. I've never seen anything so big. Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky. But that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected the light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular shapes. What kind of city is this, said NieR? Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use. But the debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent on street steel rails. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber, and green dangled over each street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials that had never been before encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme of purpose to abstract works around them, NieR and Weiss eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. NieR uttered a sigh of relief as they approached them. Finally, it's getting tired of the modern art. The 3 statues were indistinguishable, except for a single word chiseled into the right of arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. As NieR moved to touch the NieR statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures. Alighting on the statue's shoulder amid a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one form is real. The others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will always speak lies. With that, the bird departed. If one cue, the 3 statues shuddered to life, acquiring color in the form as they began to breathe. Hey, look at that, said NieR. They're alive. The triplets bowed low before NieR. Please, said Alpha. You have to get me out of this nightmare. I'm real. Stop lying, said Beta. He turned to NieR and threw his hands in the air. Alpha's a fake. You know, I'm the real one. What a load of crap, said Gamma. Beta is the fake. Everyone knows I'm the real one around here. Their respective pleas given, the 3 statues returned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. When you consider all the statements, only one of them could be the real thing, advice. NieR furrowed his eyebrows and considered his answer. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will always speak lies. Alright, I'm back. A real one is Beta. The real one is Beta. Though NieR's voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence, he was relieved to see Weiss nodding at him. If Alpha were telling the truth, began Weiss in the dry tones of a lecture, Beta and Gamma would be fakes. But in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth, even though Gamma is a liar. Therefore, that theory crumbles. Now let us presume that Gamma spoke the truth. That makes Alpha and Beta liars. In this situation, however, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with the 2 statues telling the truth. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth. If so, Alpha and Gamma's lies would make sense. Therefore, Beta must be real. As Weiss finished the explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly into the dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. Congratulations, villager, said Weiss in a cheerful voice. The time to awaken has arrived. Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as he could before it became uncomfortable for NieR pulled away from his feet. Why do you have a dream like this? Asked Weiss. Have you been to the city before? The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape, then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this. At the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, muttered NieR, just like the mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck NieR during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind.
That was rough.
I am positive I have seen that place before.
Okay, that's enough. Don't need you getting all weird on me too. Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right?
Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct.
Okay.
I think I've had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
You're telling me. Anyway, let's go see the mayor.
All right. Heck yeah, we did it. Awesome. I love that. That was awesome. That was really fun. Very imaginative.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you so much. Here, I have something for you.
In the one-handed sword, faith.
Wow, this looks valuable. I can really have it?
Of course.
Of course.
It's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you again for everything.
All right, we did it. We saved the village. To the power of words and trickery. Whatever influence that was, we've eradicated it. The Deathdream is now gone. Return back to Popola and bring her the good news. Woo! That was a lot of reading.
So how was the village?
Oh, it was truly magnificent. There are no words. Really.
No words. That's funny.
Neat.
Kinda would hate it.
Let's get back to Popola. She'll probably want to know what's going on in there.
The Popola! Phew! I match this place up really well. The way I am matching this building. It looks great. Oh, I wonder what appears when we defeated that temple monster. Top shelf?
It's that lizard thing we fought in the area.
That is a hook.
Who would make a figure of that anyway? And what is it doing here?
Great question, yes, yes.
It's a sculpted leaf. Right?
What would that be from?
This is the first sane thing I have seen in this room.
Very weird indeed. Oh, here's this one.
We
Right.
saw this cube back in the Baron Temple.
Yeah. We did the top shelf first, earlier.
Perhaps the Prince of Facade gave it to Popola as a gift?
I guess so.
This is from the junk heap.
For a decoration, it's certainly in poor taste.
That's where all the boss heads are. Oh, fade to black.
The Deathdream certainly is a strange illness.
Yeah, it was something all right.
It was something.
Even I, with my natural love for words, have no desire to visit that place ever again.
You guys did well. You've been making a lot of long trips lately. Are you sure you're not pushing yourself too hard?
I'm okay. I can't just sit around all day while Yona's sick, after all.
If you say so.
So, anything I can do for you?
Well, I suppose there is one thing I could use a hand with. Have you heard about our plans to repair the canal?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
The work probably won't happen for a while, but once it's done, we can use the canal for trade and travel and all kinds of useful things. Unfortunately, however, we're a bit behind schedule at the moment. If you're willing to help out, I'd really appreciate it.
No problem. What do you need?
Great. So, the man I originally asked to help on this project hasn't shown up for work in a few days. I'm starting to get a little worried, so maybe you can head over to Seafront and check up on him? I'll mark the location of his house on your map.
Okay.
He always carries a red bag over his shoulder,
Oh, yeah.
so he should be easy enough to find.
Right.
Got it.
Let's go. Seafront.
A canal, is it? Fascinating. If we had a ferry, we could put these days of endlessly running about behind us.
Don't you just float everywhere anyway?
Do you think I am borne aloft by the winds, lad? It takes stamina to maintain this height.
Oh, really?
You could at least try to hide the utter dismay, you know.
And save. That's it? I don't think I did it. Yeah. Alright guys, this is where I'll end this episode off. This episode was a lot of reading. A ton of it. But it was good. It was great writing. It was great storytelling. And you could just picture it in your mind. It's exactly what it was. And yeah, we did it. We learned about the death dream, and we defeated it by saving the others in that village, the Forest of Myth. So I guess I will see y'all next time on NieR Replicant.